Okay, well, I'm excited for this. Ashleigh Church, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Well, 2 years you've been with us. This is mega. Yeah. When we set this up for me to be able to sit here with somebody that's been with us 2 years is really exciting, because we're going to unpack a lot of your journey, the highs and lows, and just really help any online coach that's starting out, building it, in a bit of a rut right now, maybe, and not really know how to overcome it. So let's get into it. 2 years ago, you were at a place where, well, you tell us. Did you have the online business? Like, I tell you what, give me a little bit of a stepping stone into being a coach, because I think that there's so many people that watch our videos that they're like, I need to relate to where she came from. And then where was the business when you first started with us?
Well, 2 years ago, I had been a coach for like 4 or 5 years at that point. I became an online coach after doing my PT qualification, about 5 years ago. Did a bit of PT on the side, but I remember what actually happened was I went to Bali like 7 years ago now, and I remember thinking, this PT thing that I have on the side, this PT stuff, that because I never really wanted to be a PT, I wanted to help people worldwide. Like, I wanted to help more people. And I thought there must be a way that I can do this online. I had this awful little iPad. It didn't even work that well. It was so slow. And I managed to start creating PowerPoint presentations for people back at home, selling them for like £10, £20, all that kind of stuff. And then got home, carried on my PT, had a full-time job on the side. And then lockdown happened, and I kind of had to move my PT clients online. Luckily, I still had my full-time job and everything on the side as well, because I'd been to university, got a degree, so I was kind of working with my job then as well. And the online coaching then was, I knew how to coach. And this is the thing, when I started coaching from PT, my clients started to see real results. Like, from PT to coaching, they started to see like proper results, because we had the accountability, we had the check-ins. Don't get me wrong, they definitely weren't as effective in the systems I have now, but we had it all flowing. And that was kind of where I was at for like a good 5 years. And I remember I was driving home from my job one day, because I used to do like long drives. And I remember thinking, I need a podcast, because I knew how to coach. I didn't know how to run a business. And I had this vision of like one day, like being a full-time coach, but I just had no idea how I would get from where I was. How was I going to find the clients? How was I going to actually manage that? And I remember typing in Spotify or Apple Podcasts, like business coaching, and Mark, you came up.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
And I just played it and listened to it, and I was hooked, because I was like, it all makes sense. Like, everything makes sense, what he's saying. And then I bought your book, read the book, everything you were saying made sense. I was like applying it to my coaching, and it was working. And then 2 years ago, I was sick of my job, and I really knew that I had to take action, like real action at this point, invest into my future. And I jumped on a call with you guys, and I actually remember before I jumped on the call, I said, you guys need to jump on a call with me ASAP before I talk myself out of this. So I joined, and so I knew how to coach. I was coaching. I had around 15 clients then, 10, 15 clients, I think I was at. But I was only earning like £700 a month from coaching at that point. So I knew I had to take this leap. And I'll be honest, I didn't have the finances, but I knew that I had to do this. And that's where I started, basically.
Wow, I love that. So you had the background in coaching, which, there are people that are starting online now that don't necessarily have that background in coaching. I think it's important to just check in. How important has that baseline of education around being a good coach helped you?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think a lot of people, like, they get their PT qualification and they think they know how to coach. And I think that, in like a dream world, that'd be amazing. But I think having the background there of knowing how to coach women and learning what works, what doesn't work, especially having that experience on the gym floor as well, I think is really important. Because if you learn how to build a business and you learn how to coach like very quickly, and you don't go through that experience, it can be quite hard, because you're going to hit a lot of roadblocks and a lot of things you don't know in the knowledge. So having that baseline there, I think for me, I then knew the next step was I need to learn how to run a business at this point.
No, I love that. So tell me, what was the income you were earning from the online when you first started?
£700.
£700, right? And how many online clients did you say you had?
I had around, I was looking earlier, I think it was around 12 to 15. It was not 15.
Love that. Okay. So you joined the program. Lay out for us, what was the model initially that you implemented that helped you to start to see that first stage of growth, whether it's content, starting conversations, whether it was doing launches? What were the fundamental things you remember that gave you the biggest kind of kickoff?
It was definitely conversations. I had never really done conversations like in the DMs before, and I didn't have a good relationship with it at the start. I didn't want to do it. It felt uncomfortable, but I realized the more I did it, that was the thing that helped me get more clients. But I think also my content had to take a level up, because I was that person that thought, in order for me to get clients, I must have a really high following. You know, like you look at all the influencers online and you think, well, the only way I'm going to get more clients is if I have a high following, or they have loads of clients because they have a high following. Now, I don't have a high following even to this day. Like I'm on.
What's your following at the moment?
I think we're on 3,700. So it's not, majorly high. So I realized actually nurturing DMs, things like that was actually the way forward, but also leveling up my content. So making sure that I was actually giving value, and it wasn't just client posts all the time, or it wasn't just I was thinking more about it. And then we started the launches as well, which again taught me a lot about marketing. It taught me a lot about, urgency and actually excitement. And people don't just want to sign up to your coaching program that they're going to have all the time. They want that urgency. They want the excitement. And that's really where everything started to, take place for me.
So we've got, a lot of people will be like, conversations, talking to people. The reality is people are not going to talk back to you unless the content resonates with them. So you basically started off by getting content that resonated.
Yeah.
Having conversations with people, which I'm sure you'll agree is a skill. It's not just a case of starting a conversation. Like it has to be a structured process, and not, try and guide every conversation to a book call. You need to be very smart. How have you over the years become smarter with how that works?
Oh, I feel like I have a good relationship with DMs now. Whereas when I first started, I didn't have a good relationship. When I first started doing DMs, it was very robotic. It was I just thought, if they don't reply, or if they reply and they don't want to call, then next one. I was doing a lot of DMs. I was like, I remember even like a year ago, I still wasn't great with it. It's been the last year that I've really improved on it. But I would think more I wouldn't think quality over quantity. I was thinking quantity, like DMs. The whole point is that they book in a call. Now I understand that it's not about that. It's about nurturing them. It's about them trusting you. And, I followed you for a while until I bought into your program. People need to trust you. You need to nurture people. And that comes from your content. That comes from giving out free value, things like that. So when I first started, I didn't have a great relationship. I did it, but I didn't have a great relationship with it. But now I just feel like I view it so much differently now. I don't view it as I'm going to get this person on a booked call. If I can, amazing. I view it as I'm going to help this person. I'm going to nurture them. And if it takes 6 months until they finally trust me and jump on a call, we'll get there. We'll do it.
Love that. Well, look, that's something to the sales side. The content, lead generation, attracting people, nurturing people, having conversations, obviously doing the sales. But you've done something really, really important, and it's a bit different to some of the case studies I put together. You built an amazing community.
Yeah.
How important has the work that you've done alongside us in building your community to client retention, but also results?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that was one thing as well that I was a little bit unsure. I did challenges in the past, so I kind of built a little bit of a community when I did these 8-week challenges and things like that with group chats. But I found it really difficult to start with in terms of, okay, well, what if I put on a team day and no one comes? What if I jump on a community call? That was one thing that you guys taught me, was to create community calls.
Of course, yeah.
Remember when I first got told to do that, I was like, I can't do that. No one's going to turn up. It will just be me. And it probably was just me for the first few, but I was more consistent. And now it's something that the more that you show up, the more that your clients know you're going to show up. So now it's like a consistent thing. And we know we have a call every week. And I think the more that you do events, my first few events that I did, I had 5 people. Again, even 5, that was a big thing for me. And,
huge.
It was huge to have 5 people show up, taking time out of their day. And now it's like a thing where, we get a lot of girls to the point where it's like, I need to know numbers. I need to make sure we've got enough space. Each time we book an event, it's like my biggest event, because it just gets bigger every single time. And the girls get excited now. They're excited because they're like, when's the next one? We do team walks, and we've got one this weekend where we're all going to meet up and go for a nice walk around Blenheim Palace, and they bring their kids and they bring the dogs and they get a coffee and everyone starts to engage with each other. But when I first started, it wasn't that at all. I wouldn't have even put a walk on because I thought it would just be me going for a walk. But I think what you have to do is create a group chat, and spark the conversation. Don't just expect people to talk. What I've definitely done to create more of a safe environment for the girls in the group chat is we do challenges. So I'll do like step challenges where, right, guys, fill out this tracker. Whoever wins at the end of the week will receive an Amazon voucher or whatever of their choice. We also do like well-being challenges. So again, like tick off this bingo card for the week, you'll receive a voucher. And that gets everyone excited. They start posting their steps and they post, what they're doing. And then they realize that actually we're all just the same. We're all human and we all do the same things. So I think, definitely that's helped as well, is just, again, engaging in the group chat and getting them flowing. Guys, what are you having for dinner today? Oh, everyone starts sharing their dinners and it's like, oh, they feel safe, doing the chat.
And they don't want to leave. Actually, they don't want to leave your program because they built friends, right?
100%. And actually, I've had girls come back because they miss the community.
Oh, I love that. Well, look, here's the thing. I think a lot of people think it's about quick wins and gimmicks. You built content that connects with the right people, conversations that nurture the right people to end up speaking to you on a phone call. Then they come into your program. They don't just build a program. They don't just join a program to get results. They build a program to stay and become a part of the community, which actually facilitates long-term results, right? Like if they don't stay with you longer than 6 months, they're not going to get the long-term results. So that's what you've done, the community, the content, the converting, the sales part. You've done an amazing job. Where is the business now? I mean, you came in 700 a month, 12 to 15 clients. What is a consistent month for you at the moment? And how many clients do you have in the program?
Consistently, I'm hitting around, I say 12K, around 10 to 12K, but around 12. A few months ago, we did almost 19K, but again, it goes up and down, but my average spot is around that.
Yeah.
And client-wise, we just, after a call that we had today, we are on 69 clients now, which is exciting.
Wow.
I've got coach on the team. So, we have another coach on the team. She's, we're building her up as well. And then I've also got a VA as well on the team.
Wonderful. You've got a team that's helping you. You're delegating some work. You're leading the company and the team. There's a consistent 10K. I know everybody talks about this kind of magical 10K. This is more about your journey, right? Because ultimately, the business's measure of growth is financial. So I think you've done incredibly well. We could tell that from this. But from the coaches that are watching this right now, from somebody that's taken 2 years to do this, and you've been consistent, you've had your highs and lows. What's been a low for you that you've had to overcome? Because I think people will look at the 10K and look at this 2-year journey. What's been, as an online fitness coach, what's been your low of the last 2 years, and how did you overcome it?
I wouldn't say there was any particular thing or like anything like that. I think it was just more so unlocking a new level each time, but also I went through moments of self-doubt. I went through moments of like, I've and even to this day, I still go through moments where, you don't close every sale. And, I've definitely hit moments where I haven't closed every sale, or DMs weren't going as well and I wasn't getting as many calls booked in. And you start to think, I remember a few months ago, I think it was like 4 months ago now, like I hit just under the 10K mark, and you start to think, oh no, like is everything going, backwards? But that's just business. And I think the biggest thing is understanding that you just have to take action and keep going and trust the process. And you are going to have highs and lows. And that's the thing is like, not every month is going to be an amazing month, but over time, it's like a client who weighs himself with a scale, right? It goes up, down, but the average usually goes down if their goal is weight loss.
I love that.
But it goes up, but it's going to go like this. And I think that's one thing that I've had to learn is just because I've had a bit of a slower month, you have to slow down to speed up sometimes. And for me, whenever I've had a bit of a slower month, it means I skyrocket into the next month. So I'd say that is one thing, is just understanding that and being okay with that, and like accepting that it doesn't mean that you're a bad coach because you've got no one signed up. It just means that you need to learn more. You need to dive deeper into a different area and look at where the sticking point is. But I think also another big thing that I struggle with was the vision. Like I remember a year ago, I hit like 6K and I thought that was amazing. I left CC Build and came back 4 weeks later because I realized that I hadn't finished and I was nowhere near where I wanted to be. But I think that made me think, oh, like I've got all these clients. How am I ever going to move the needle forward? How am I ever going to get a coach on the team? How can I have a VA? Like I just didn't have that self-belief. So I limited myself. And that's another thing I'd say is it's really easy to look at everyone else who's, like you said, who's like doing these big months. And that's what I would do. I'd look at everyone who's doing these big months and or got all these clients and got a coach on the team. And I felt so far away from that. But like, so what if it takes 2 years? Like it takes time. You have to keep going and not follow someone else's speed, follow your own speed.
Ashleigh, that's incredibly inspiring because from someone that's seen your journey, witnessed your journey and spoken to you, this is not just about making 10K. It's about maturing as an entrepreneur, weathering the storm, being a more stable business owner. And I feel that from what you said, you feel something that we're very proud of is helping you build a business that brings consistent income. A stable business, but can you see this being a long-term business?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you see my point? And I think a lot of people, it's flash in the pan, money, and then there's not that stability, and that stability comes with time. So I just want to thank you for your time, inspiring everybody else. And I know this video is going to be incredibly, incredibly valuable. So I appreciate your time.
Thank you.